We are in the international break, and there's controversy out of the England camp. No surprise, it has to do with Manchester City and Liverpool. Tensions boiling over a bit on the field, a clash between Raheem Sterling and Joe Gomez. It's apparently carried over into the England camp on Monday. Reports that Sterling physically confronted Gomez in the camp. The two had to be separated. Now, the first report is that Gareth Southgate sent Sterling home, then called him in the car, called him back. But the fallout is this: Sterling has been dropped from the England squad Thursday against Montenegro. He will, however, be available Sunday against Kosovo. Sterling on Instagram admitting his emotions got the better of him, adding, though, that he and Joe Gomez had already moved on from the incident. And there's some, at least, photo evidence, video evidence of that in training today. We see the smiles there suggest things are at least somewhat back to normal in the England camp. Here's Gareth Southgate with a full explanation.
I think I'm dealing with a very young squad, and we're in a sport where emotions often run high. I think Raheem, in his post last night, explained that for a very brief moment, his emotions ran over. And it would be correct to say that's not the same for Joe. Then you have a decision to make as to whether there needs to be something further, which is the right thing for the group moving forward, which was my reason for not selecting Raheem for the game on Thursday. In regards to whether that should have been made public or not, in the end, when you've made a decision like that, it's going to be public on Wednesday or Thursday anyway, and I'd have to deal with it then. I'd rather deal with it now so that we can all focus on the game, decisions being made, and as a group we're moving forward and concentrating on the football.
All right, before we get to whether the punishment fits the crime, Southgate's handling of it, just give us an idea. How common is something like this in the international setting where club rivalries will boil over?
Well, I've not seen it. And
never?
Almost a decade playing. Listen.
I would assume the Scotland camp knows a rivalry.
If the allegation is that he physically went for Joe Gomez, and that's what it seems to be, then I'm telling you I have not seen that, apart from maybe like at half-time or things boil over. I have not seen that walking up into a training camp 2 or 3 days before. I've seen people that don't get on, I've seen people that don't like each other and won't talk to each other, and it's very cliquey, but I haven't seen somebody walk in and allegedly grab somebody by the throat or whatever it is. I've not seen that.
Yeah, this is, Stevie, I think different because it's not an on-field row. This is an off-field. This event didn't take place on the training ground.
Yeah, I know. I think the most important thing to look at this is that this is not. There was no punches thrown. Nobody's got a broken leg. This was two people posturing. This is what it was. Posturing. There was no physical harm done to anybody. Now, both at club level and international level, I've seen players posturing. Bit of push and shoving, a bit of grabbing, everybody runs in and breaks it all up, and then it's done and dusted. How this is blown into, God, World War III, I do not know, because it's a bit of posturing and it happens a lot.
Frank, is this a big deal or not?
Well, at the end of the day, it's not a big deal. You know, they're going to go along together and work together for their country. But as Craig, I've never seen that with the national team. I guess it happened in the 90s, beginning of 90s in France, where Paris Saint-Germain and Marseille had a big rivalry, and half of the squad were from Marseille, the other half from Paris. And it's why they didn't qualify for the World Cup in '94 in the United States. But since then, and since I played for France, I've never seen that. It was always a problem for me to play against Thierry Henry when we had games against Arsenal or Sylvain Whittle, because I knew that I would have to play with them during the week or the week after for the national team. You have to understand that has been for me the main problem with the national team in England, because clubs were above the national team. I think the FA and Southgate worked hard to make sure that all players will be involved with the national team, will work hard and will work for their nationality and not for the club they belong to. So it can be a big deal. It can make the FA going backwards in the battle that they have to have. But hopefully with the result they can have and the team they have, they can achieve something, hopefully.
Stevie, does the punishment fit the crime for you? If you're the manager,
Why is he
what do you
punishing?
dole out?
I don't get this. Why is he getting punished?
Because he's attacking
punishing
the
team.
teammate.
He's punishing the England team. I'll tell you what. I wish this game was against Germany and it really meant something.
You
and we
saying
shouldn't figure. Yeah, we shouldn't. You think they're going to suspend them if they're playing Germany in a qualifier instead of Montenegro? Come on.
There's no way Raheem Sterling misses a game like that if England had not qualified and they were playing one of the top guys. They're playing Spain.
Really?
Or France.
Yes.
Or Germany. I'm telling you now, it's selective.
So this is not worthy of...
However...
You go after a teammate, you can't...
Well, listen,
one game is too much?
What do you mean you go after the teammate? Did he go to the hospital? Was he physically assaulted?
Look,
is there some problem? You just saw the two of them laughing and joking together.
Everything.
I mean, so this is really bad.
Everything we've heard about this England team is the harmony.
Well, he did say.
Don't you fall for all that flannel?
Okay.
Well, he did say that he walked in. He did say that he walked in, not after a training session, not during a training session, not during a game. He did walk in to the first meeting or the first arrival of the players at the training camp and allegedly, I say allegedly, grab Gomez by the throat. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's a little strong.
That's toxic, right?
Because, you know, you can fall out with people. However, Stevie's right. If this had been a real nail-biter against another powerhouse of European football, Raheem Sterling wouldn't be missing the game. Because that's just contradictory to how managers manage. Because if that happened and then England lost and didn't get to the Euro, or whatever happened, I'm just throwing this out there, then Gareth Southgate would have got pelters. So,
Frank, is Gareth Southgate going too far here with the one-match suspension?
No. I think no. I think it's only fair. And as the guy said, you know, when it's not very an important game, they can win against Montenegro without Raheem Sterling, and they're going to be qualified, so it's not a problem. I think it's just an alert of how to make sure that the players, when they come to the national team ground, they forget about the rivalry that they have with their clubs. That's it. It's not a big deal. It can happen. As Southgate said, it's emotional sometimes, but it's between adults, even if they're young adults. They should handle that, and they shouldn't go further than that. And carry on, play well, and everything's going to be all right.
If they're adults, treat them like adults, not schoolboys. That's what you do with schoolboy teams. To teach them a lesson, to make them learn, not adults.
So when the second time this happens, you just say, I didn't punish it.
Do you know what gets me?
Second time there.
Do you know what gets me?
If you're going to have a second time, if you don't address the behaviour
Is this the second time?
There will be a second.
Is this the second
No,
time?
it's not the
second.
second,
No, they're not.
Stevie.
Thank you very much.
Do you know what gets me? Seriously. Can't we keep anything quiet these days?
Rio Ferdinand made that point. He said it should have been handled in-house.
That gets me. Can't we just... Right, there's two things here. People either have the ability to keep this quiet, because when it happens, it happens. What should happen then is all the senior people around should get everybody in, staff, everybody, say, listen, this is closed doors. If this gets out, I'll find out who puts it out. So we keep this quiet. That's why we've been pretty good over the last couple of years, or whatever it is, and we've had some semblance of success. It's because we've got a decent unity here. So I don't want this getting out. Or two, it was so bad, which it doesn't seem to be, but it was so bad that he just sends him back and says, listen, I might think about you the next squad, but you're out of this one because I can't accept that. We're kind of somewhere in the middle here, sending somebody back up the road, then phoning them up, and all the players have discussed it, and I've made a decision, I'll come back. It's betwixt and between. Keep it quiet or send the guy home. One or t'other.
I did both.
You did?
I had a player. He was lucky that it was international week, and I phoned the international manager and said, right, I don't want you picking this guy because of a physical altercation, which was assault, not a little posturing, assault, and we kept it quiet.
It can be done.
Of course it can.
Yeah. I think a good time to bring in Sid here. There's not a national team. Well, not necessarily for the fighting, but not a national team that knows rivalries and how to manage them more than Spain. Sid, how did Spain overcome Barcelona, Real Madrid famously and have all that success, a decade ago?
Well, I mean, in a way, it's not a simple answer because bear in mind that the worst of the confrontation between Barcelona and Real Madrid happened after Spain won the 2010 World Cup. And actually, that was one of the reasons why some Spain players at Real Madrid didn't take on board some of the things that Mourinho was saying, because their response to him when he was trying to build a rivalry, trying to build a hatred between Madrid and Barcelona, was to say, well, we just won the World Cup with these guys. These guys are all right. But of course, what happened over the next 2 years, and they did win a European Championships in the middle of this, is that, yeah, there was tension. And there was tension which did carry into the squad. But I think fundamentally there was always a belief, perhaps helped by the fact that they'd already won the World Cup together, that, you know what, when it gets to a tournament, that's what matters more. Now, obviously, look, in this, I completely defer to the three guys in the studio, because they've played the game and they've seen it from the inside. But it always seems to me that it's quite difficult from an international perspective to kind of break down those rivalries, because, of course, those players are with their club teammates all of the time. And they're with the national team only a short period of the time, then they go away and then they come back again.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPNFC 7 days a week, subscribe to ESPN+.